Hello, I'm Brother Carter.
And I am... who am I? Sure. Okay.
Start over. Hello, I'm Brother Carter.
And I am Val.
And we have a new show called
Tasteful and Toxic.
Coming up when?
Every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Check us out.
Tune in. All right. As you see, we have a lot of candid conversation taking place here right now. We have not begun the show until I say welcome to another edition of Tasteful and Toxic with Brother Carter. I just said that so you know we're on the show now.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, then come on, Brother Carter.
So
It has. We are on.
and we are being filmed also.
This is what we do on
Why you
Tasteful and
jumping in my show? But I don't interfere when you have love and victory. I'm having Tasteful and Toxic right now.
Okay.
And I don't want you to jump to be toxic.
We're here, right?
Yeah.
Here? Okay.
Well,
Unfortunately, we're here.
I don't want her to get toxic early in the show. I don't want her to wait. She got that. She got that
But
cup.
she
right
got that. Where's the cup?
now.
What happened? She's hiding the evidence.
I put it
now.
over there.
She
She's
got
hiding
that
the
Captain
evidence.
Cup too. All right. Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Tasteful and Toxic with Brother Carter. I have my co-host with me, the lovely, vivacious one, the very beautiful one,
Well, hello.
Miss Val. How you doing, girl?
I am doing fantastic. It always is good for me to sit alongside of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Just like a good cup of coffee, huh?
Baby, with a little specialty in it.
All right. And as you see today, we have some very lovely ladies on the show with us today. We have sitting next to Miss Val, Miss Christina. Miss Christina, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right. Do the people know who you are on Tasteful and Toxic?
Yes, they do. This is
They
like
know.
my third or fourth.
You've been on
third?
Tasteful and Toxic before?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
she know the drill.
Well,
Yes.
won't you reintroduce yourself, should I say?
Well, I am Christina Price.
Mhm.
I am a friend of y'all.
There you go.
And I am a recurring.
Yeah,
That's
recurring.
right.
You said it right.
recurring.
That's
Yeah.
all. You're on Tasteful and
member of the
Toxic, so
Tasteful
sometimes the
and
words
Toxic.
don't come out.
You know,
the
me and
right
you
way.
relate in that way.
They may say,
Yeah, you know.
It don't have to be dignified.
I always have to
Because-
check, like, did I say
Yeah.
it right?
It's
You know,
okay.
We had a whole conversation last week about toxicity or toxicity.
toxicity.
See, here they go. This is where they connected. You
was-
understand?
Toxicity.
Yeah.
Toxicity.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, anyway,
Yeah, that
Continue.
word,
Yeah.
right?
continue. Tell the people who you are.
But that was it. That's all I was saying. I'm
That's all you
Christina
know?
Price, yes, and
Uh-huh.
I am tasteful.
You are
There you go.
tasteful.
Yes.
And are you going to
Now,
say tasteful the whole
can you be toxic though?
I know toxic because I used to be toxic.
You
So,
used to be.
yeah, so I
So you
understand the
transform
language.
from that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm not
Okay.
I'm not going to say
What you
nothing.
what you supposed to do?
Let you-
on
this your
on
show.
on the Tasteful and Toxic show.
Let you host your
Okay.
show.
All right.
You see what kind
So
of
there we go, and I'm gonna turn you loose in a minute because
Okay.
I know you're a Leo. You got that lion in you. You ready to roar? So we also have another lovely, beautiful lady on the show here with her blonde hair, looking so beautiful. It's all dripped down all on her and everything. How you doing there, Dr. Pinkston?
Fantastic.
Yeah. How
Give me
you?
your first name first. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's Marilyn.
Marianne.
Marianne.
Yeah,
right.
Marianne,
Oh,
Dr.
When
Marianne
you think of
Pinkston.
y'all remember Marianne? Marianne was on the Gilligan and Island.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
and she had blonde hair.
No,
No,
she was the
no.
dark-headed
That
one.
was- that was Ginger.
It was
That was Ginger.
Ginger
Yeah,
was
yeah,
she was
yeah.
the fiery red
Yeah,
hair,
yeah.
but you know, Marianne was the real. Girl.
That was the real
That
one?
was the real.
Oh.
one.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
if you ask any guy, Marianne or Ginger, they'll tell you Marianne.
Oh, okay. Get it right. Correct me. Okay.
So, Dr. Marianne
Yes.
Pinkston,
Yes.
tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am tasteful with a splash of toxics.
Oh.
All right.
All right,
I
all
can
right.
hold my own in a
Okay.
toxic atmosphere. I think
All
I'm
right.
in the right place. I don't know.
Okay.
Hormones.
And now you have this whole doctor in front of your name.
Dr.
I do. So yeah. So the doctor is out today. I have the sign on the door is not doctored. On Saturdays, I'm not doctored.
Okay.
So I'm just Marianne.
But just for Tasteful and Toxic, tell the people about your doctor.
Yeah, I'm a family practitioner, also an integrative medicine specialist. So I work a lot with weight loss and hormones and get wellness, doing things.
And
the
that's
right way.
Monday through Friday.
That's Monday
but
through
on
Friday.
Saturday and Sunday,
Yes.
she's Marianne.
She's Marianne, and she's toxic on Saturday.
Flash of toxic.
I'm gonna be toxic and say, do you give consultations on your off days?
Absolutely, right? And he is the first one today.
Yeah.
It's the first
He's
one.
the first consultation
We
today.
may
He needs all the help in
allow
the
her to
world.
give a little consultation today, as we go on to the show.
Ooh, come on in.
So we also have another lovely on the show today. My friend, my co-worker, Miss Roslyn Gilmore. Hey, Roslyn, how you doing?
Fine, and you?
Yeah, and welcome to Tasteful and Toxic with us today.
Thank you for inviting me. This is the first time, of course, that I've been on this show, but this is the first time I've been on any show.
Oh, wow.
You've never been on a podcast
A
or
radio,
a radio
show or
nothing?
anything.
No.
You have
All
arrived.
Right. Yeah, girl, you in for awakening.
We were talking about the Love and Victory Virgin, but this is like ultimate.
Yeah.
The ultimate.
Yeah.
The ultimate.
Yeah, so
ultimate.
today you're a virgin, but after the show you'll be de-virginized.
You don't know where we going with it. You'll
Cherry
be all
would have
right.
been popped.
Yeah. What has been popped?
Her cherry.
I stayed away from that.
I mean, the podcast cherry.
Hey, but thank you, Christine. So, Roslyn, tell people a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where you from? And all this kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, like Mr. Lawrence said, I'm his coworker.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from Colorado originally, so of course
Ooh.
that's
What y'all doing over there? I had an experience in Colorado, but we'll come back.
We're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that.
I brought her here just specifically for that experience. Okay.
Go ahead.
so I'm from Colorado originally. I was born and raised there, but I have been living here in Houston for 22 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I moved here in 2001,
Okay.
and I have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Married. I'll be married 25 years.
Okay.
So,
Successful.
Congratulations.
Yes, successful.
For making it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
you know, a regular old person.
Regular old person.
No, hold on. My mother said, who is 80 years. Mama turned, what? How many years? Anyway, my mother said, ain't nothing get old but old clothes. So I don't attach a birth and aging to old. We just get better.
Wait,
Even old
somebody
clothes
fine
can get
wine.
better.
Fine wine, it gets better.
Whiskey.
Even old
Now-
clothes can be recycled.
There you
styles
go.
come back.
Right.
Good morning. This is Brother Carter with Tasteful and Toxic. LMV Enterprise Resources Inc. is a nonprofit organization reared and geared to help those that are less fortunate. And so Tasteful and Toxic is partnering with LMV Enterprise Resource Inc. and we need your support. If you'd like to support the initiative that we're creating here, bring your toys to 616 FM 1960 West at Suite 101. And you can bring your toys into that place. If you don't want to drop toys off at the location, you can always go to the website at LVERINC.com. You can make a generous donation right there. That would also go to apply to help the kids in need. You have up to December the 13th to bring in the toys. LMV Resources Inc. is the helping hands community. So with our hands and your hands together, we can make this work. So God bless you. We love you. We thank you for your support. This is Brother Carter from Tasteful and Toxic. We was talking on the Love and Victory show about Colorado and the experience over there with Deion Sanders' son and stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, you you either attended that college or you have sons in that college right now?
I have one son. My youngest son attends there. I did not attend there, but I attended another college in Colorado. But yeah, one of my youngest son actually.
Okay, well, hats off to him. What is the experience like there?
He loves it. Actually, he's the one who chose the college. I was kind of surprised because he runs track, and so he.
Oh, he's a track star like I am. Oh, that's what I was. Oh, I already love him before you even say anything else.
You probably would love him even more if you met him in person.
Oh,
'cause
God.
He's definitely the feisty one out of my three.
Can I please meet him?
Yes.
Make that happen. We got a holiday celebration coming up.
Okay. I will
thank
definitely make it happen.
All
But
right.
yeah, so he's had a really good experience. Like I said, he was recruited by several universities, but he chose
stay
University
home.
of Colorado. And
There was that prior to Dion and them coming there.
Oh, wow.
he graduated graduated from high school in 2020. So he's been there since then. So yeah,
Okay.
he's been going there. He's actually a senior now. So
Yeah.
if all goes well, he should graduate next year.
So he's had the whole experience of the Deion Sanders primetime experience and all that kind of stuff at the college there.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What's his name?
Ian.
Ian.
All right,
Congratulations, Ian. All
Hey,
right.
your
all
mama
right.
is on the Tasteful and Toxic. Let's see if she gonna be tasteful or she gonna be toxic or just a splash.
She didn't tell her son.
I
She
did
didn't
not.
toxic her.
I didn't. I'm tasteful.
Okay.
But I've probably been toxic on accident, or I'm probably a closet toxic, right? Or maybe a passive aggressive toxic.
Oh, even better.
I absolutely loving it. And on here, you could just be who you are in the moment.
Yeah.
Come out the
So you
closet.
come out. What?
Come out the closet.
All right. All right. So
We all be hosting.
All right.
This. I love it.
So, ladies, welcome to Tasteful and Toxic with your main man, Brother Carter. That'll be me. Yes, I'm the best host in radio stations all over the country. You know, I do this every Wednesday morning from 8 o'clock to, I guess, when it's over.
When it's over.
Yeah. So you can catch us every Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock right here. All right. So today we're gonna talk
I
about.
thought you was gonna introduce your lovely Valvation.
You Pat.
Oh, I missed it. Hey, y'all. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, go ahead again.
Okay, let me back up a little. All right. This is the reason we call this show Tasteful and Toxic. Sometimes my wife she get a little toxic sometimes.
No.
And she
I
okay
tend
with that.
and I may trigger her.
Yep.
You know, throughout the show, and I shouldn't not do that.
But you're not in control of that. It's just
Yeah, that's just the way you
why
want to
we-
be.
No, I can be tasteful and I
You
can
can
be
be
toxic.
either
It
way.
just depends on the mood and what.
At least she admits it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
so
And
we
I'm okay with that.
today we're gonna talk about relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about relationships today. And speaking of relationships, have y'all seen this relationship unfolding with Will Smith and
That's
Isn't
Jada?
that interesting?
That's a hot mess.
Yeah.
I mean,
talk about toxic.
Yeah, let's hear your view on that.
You know, I really, and I may come from
She been
a-
having some whole issues.
I
today.
know. We talked about Taylor and Kelsey,
Yeah, okay.
and I know this is my expertise. Maybe I don't know, but
Yeah, I want to hear your version of this, but I want to hear both the tastefulness of it and the toxicity.
Toxicity.
Toxic.
toxicity.
Whatever the
of it.
damn word is.
Exactly, right?
Y'all know what I'm talking
You know,
about.
okay, first of all, I'm going to say I don't know them. I don't know what I'm
Right.
talking about. So I
Exactly.
don't know a lot about them.
Okay.
But
Just
know what's out
look at-
there.
We just
I
talk
just
about
know
what
I
we
see.
know of, and yes.
So, you know, we were talking about the sensationalism, you
Mm-hmm.
know, earlier of relationships and how that plays in the media and whatnot. And I always thought that whole scenario at the Oscars was another,
Yes.
sensationalism
It was just
issue.
full of
or-
crap.
what
it
you
really
mean with
was,
Will
but-
slapping Chris?
Yeah, that was a whole. Did you
Yeah.
notice how he stood there? It was almost like he was waiting on it to happen.
I figured that, but now that I see this,
It was
you
a
know,
whole.
I think
it was to
Will-
bring Will to put him in his place. In my opinion is, it was to put him in his place, and then to push this narrative now that we see Jada is coming out saying, well, I ain't been with him in 7 years. I don't know why he did this.
You know what?
Allegedly.
Listen.
But right now, that's
You was
it.
talking
Yeah,
to- okay.
that's it. That's his
Okay, I'ma
other
stay
point
over
of
here.
view.
I'ma stay
So
over
I'm gonna
here.
come to you. Okay.
No, but
Yeah.
I feel where you're coming
But
from.
I don't mind nobody chiming in though. Anybody can chime in anytime.
Yeah, but you know, with all of that Will is in a really unusual place.
A bad place. Don't
A
call it
very
unusual.
bad-
Don't
Yeah,
say
he-
it.
He's in a crappy.
I
No, he's in a
agree.
very
in a bad
crappy
place.
place.
Yeah.
He's in a very crappy place.
No,
I
not
feel that.
crappy.
He's
He's
in
in a
love.
bad place.
So why do you say he in the
I
bad?
think he
Why is he
loves
in the
that
bad
woman.
place?
He don't love. Allegedly, he does not love her. He loves allegedly. He loves something else. Allegedly.
Well, but why are they still even in the?
Because they done
putting
made
on
children.
airs, and
but
so
that's
Because it works for their
it works
business.
for them. It's
Well,
about
yeah.
money.
It works for-
Because
yeah.
why would she wait
I
this
brought
long
up
to
the
come
wrong
out?
I know
with
you
a-
really
My
did.
Why did
I'm
she
sorry.
come
My
out
wife just
with a
done took
book
over the
and
show,
now
and
all
I
of a
just-
sudden she over here with all this? I ain't been living with him for how long? That's all. But it's all about.
It is. It's the sensationalism
It
stuff
is.
again.
So-
it drives me
I
crazy.
will
I
say
was
that
really
I
shocked.
think
Oh, I love her jumping.
relationships,
She, I like her.
like famous people, which not even just famous people, but even regular people like us. You know, if you're, you kind of
into
have
trying to.
a brand, if you will. Like, I guess I'll liken it to when people say, you know, whatever we are dealing with at home is at home, but like when we go out in the in public, you put on a certain face for the brand, if you will.
For the brain.
Which is basically your name, your last name. You know, like Mr. and Mrs. Carter.
Well, can I tell you something? I'm glad you said that because one of the things, if you listen to our other, well, he's my co-host on. I'm your co-host.
No,
Yeah.
you sound like the host right now.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I promise God, when He put us on this platform, we're gonna be just who we are. So I don't put we don't put on. It is what it is. Oh, he took that away from me. But anyway, it is what it is because people. Here's the thing: God will pull the curtains off of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You better walk and
So
be who you are.
let's just.
You trying to clean it up?
No. I just want to hear opinions on what people views is about the Will Smith and
Oh.
yeah.
I was really shocked
that-
by it, though. I really was. I didn't realize that they were so at odds. I just,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because if you think about it, ever since she came out, which I don't even listen to the Red Table Talks, but you know, like
Right.
everything they do and just famous people do ends up coming out in the media.
Yes.
So,
course.
you know, you
Anything
heard
you
about
do
them.
in the dark will come to light
will.
eventually.
You
Yeah.
will be found.
Yeah.
But since she's the one who kind of has been putting stuff out there, little bits and
Yeah,
pieces
and that's
about their
where I
life
want to
or
go.
whatever.
I want to go there too.
It doesn't surprise me because I figured, well, I'm not sure how a person, meaning Will, but really just anybody, on the receiving end of basically hearing about your wife or your spouse having an entanglement, like, like what do you even do with that? You know what I mean? Like, what, if you are the other person, everybody's kind of looking at you like waiting for the
Yeah.
response, and you're kind of
Has anyone heard from Will concerning this?
Yeah, he got on the red table talking like, you know, he wouldn't have no problem with it.
really.
But now we look at it from a public's perspective
Yes.
of how Jada's doing him. I wonder if that's what happened behind closed doors,
No, it
and that's
isn't.
why we have the result of Will that we have today.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love
Like,
that.
is that called narcissism? Like, is it narcissistic or
Behavior, yeah.
You know, behavior that Jada does, and then that's why we have this like insecure, kind of like scared.
I would agree
Will-
because if you
So
think
Will
about
is
it-
like a little scared little puppy right
Kind
now.
of, sorta,
Kinda,
because it's
sorta
like,
look
even
like.
with the
That's what I
slap.
mean by he is in a bad place.
Yeah.
And that I do feel he has some I do feel he has some
needs
love
some
for
mental help.
Roslyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do feel that he is the one that's victimized here in a way. And
Yeah.
you don't imagine
I'm
a
not
man.
giving him no pass.
Wait.
Okay, I love this.
It's not. I don't mean victimization as in, you know, he's the victim to Jada or whatnot.
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
the victimization of he just doesn't know where he belongs on this. I do think
I love that.
I think he really does love his family and his wife and wants to
agree.
have a real life. And
Yes,
and he
but
is in the
because
middle
he's
of a
went into
storm.
he's in a storm and
And
he's
she
went to
is the storm.
She is the
She is the
storm.
storm.
She's toxic.
She is the storm, but he has went to such dark places
Absolutely.
to try to find who he is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's almost like he's been led into this place,
Thank you.
now he's in this place of, oh damn,
Yeah.
Right, like, oh,
what
crap.
to do?
Yeah.
Now what?
And I'm
happens?
here
that he
alone.
probably has.
He's alone because
Absolutely.
she knew that they weren't together. But if y'all go back to her facial expression when she went up there and when he slapped her, she was sitting there like almost like she orchestrated everything. But then she got on the show, the newsman
I
on
don't
this
know
whole
what
thing.
it was doing. I don't know
No, she
what
didn't
he
know what
did.
was going to. You knew exactly.
I think so.
She knew. I mean, it allegedly. It was just
So being the host of the show,
I'm sorry.
Tasteful Toxic.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
okay.
I believe,
Oh my goodness gracious.
like Doctor was saying, I think we'll do have a genuine love for Jada.
I
wait,
would-
wait. Let me finish. Let me
Okay,
finish.
I'd like to be checked.
Okay. I do believe he have a genuine love for Jada. I also believe that he has done so much prior to all this that's transpiring right now. He has done a lot of things that Jada has lost a lot of respect and love for him.
Well, I guess
And-
to me, like,
Hold up.
go
I
ahead.
wasn't done. I wasn't
Okay.
done.
sorry.
You get everybody. He get everybody on his show. He say he the host. Okay.
It takes two to tango.
And so this is the result of her, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. This is the result of her fighting back for all that he was doing, whether he was doing it with women or men or whatever he was doing.
Allegedly.
You know, I'm just talking about my opinion. I ain't talking about allegedly or what happened. This is just my opinion. I believe he's sleeping with men.
Allegedly.
Really? Wow.
This is my opinion.
Allegedly.
That's my opinion. Allegedly. They ain't allegedly because ain't nobody allegedly said that, have they? Or have they?
Allegedly.
Oh,
Publicly,
okay.
we have to say it.
We have to say that, baby. You
Oh.
on the platform.
Well,
Allegedly.
can I just say that's my opinion?
Allegedly. You can, but I'm going to say I got you. That's
Okay.
why I'm your co-host.
Okay, all right. But anywho,
Yeah.
I forgot what I was finna say now.
Lost the whole train of thought.
What you had on that, Rob?
Just to chime in, I feel like he's feeling part of him being in a bad place is him having maybe compromised himself. Because
I
like
love
in a
the word,
relationship,
yes.
you do compromise. You know, you may or may not be okay with certain things that your spouse likes, and vice versa. But you do things that aren't
To keep the
necessarily
peace.
your thing, to keep the peace and to be open to A, new things, and B, pleasing your spouse. So that can go on all the spectrums of a relationship.
Right.
You know, you may not eat mushrooms.
Yeah.
But your wife
Allegedly,
likes them and you-
they were like swingers or something like that, right?
well, right. And so,
Allegedly.
like, that's
Oh,
what I'm
now
saying.
you got
Like,
that word
kind of
allegedly
stuff-
in there. Okay.
That kind of
That's
stuff
allegedly.
is-
That's not what I think. That's what I actually heard. But
Yeah.
when I say allegedly, that's what I heard.
Okay.
When I say what I think, that's what I think.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Okay, I love that.
I know what I'm saying.
Come on now.
Okay,
But like, if
can
you, like on that topic, then with the swinging, if that's what's allegedly occurred, that may be something that he wasn't comfortable with, but he knew she wanted,
Right.
and he was
Yeah,
doing
out
it
of
basically
character.
to please her. So
my.
the fact that now, if, like you said, she is feeling some type of way about him having done certain things, I mean, honestly, he's been compromising his whole entire identity
Right.
for her, or vice versa. Maybe she's been compromising hers for him. But like, you can't be angry because A, you're an adult, and you could just say, I'm not doing that. Or, but then if you decide, okay, I'm going to do this to please my
Right.
spouse, even though it's
Right.
something that I don't want to
There's a
do.
consequence either way.
Right.
Either way, you're damned if you do, damned if you
You
don't.
are.
And let's do this here, for the sake of time. We're focusing on right now Will and Jada. But this happens in households.
Absolutely.
All
'Cause
day,
every day.
You compromise
Right.
yourself
Yeah.
always, for the better of the two of you. But
Right.
not everybody thinks that way. Like we were talking about earlier with, with having a selfish point of view of yourself. When you're in a relationship, you're always trying to settle into the other person, give a little bit to the other person, find a compromise, and support each other, build each
And
other up. But
sometimes
it works
one person
completely
give a
opposite.
lot more than the other person.
Absolutely.
There's always one person that's just more giving.
And when you do that,
Right.
when you start giving too much of yourself, especially if you're giving it in the wrong, it's not congruent with who you are, you're trapped because you're in this relationship, for better or for worse.
Right.
And so if it's going for the worse, what
Yeah.
do you do?
What do you do?
What do you
Yeah.
do?
My
Yeah.
God.
Because you were stuck.
And so, Christina, what you have to say on that, on this aspect of just generalizing relationship based on what we're talking about with Will and Jada?
Well, it goes back to my point that I said before. You really just have to know who you are, and you have to be grounded in that. Not saying that you can't compromise and you can't bend for your partner, but you still have certain morals and certain certain understandings that you have for a relationship and certain standards that you want for the relationship. So it's certain things you just don't compromise on.
Yeah. But you've been in a relationship, okay? You've been in this relationship for 20 some odd years. And now, I mean, where do you find this strength or this will to just say, I'm not going to accept this anymore?
Where you're going. That's very important what you were bringing up, what you were saying, because when do you have the responsibility as a couple to bring the other one that's going outside of everything back? I mean, you have yes, this is me and this is what I want to do. This is how I feel. This is what's important. But when you're with somebody, are you able to look at them and say, you are going outside of the circle of what we agreed on in our relationship and you need to come back. It's my responsibility to help you come back.
But when you went so far out, how do you
exactly?
But can I go back to this here? I love that. But here, it's always an individual thing, the man in the mirror. Where are yours? Are you willing to go outside of who you are?
Yeah.
Just to hold the relationship. And so you have to, and I'm going to be honest, I was not always that person that wanted to rock the boat. But you get to a place in your life that's looking at that man in the mirror and saying, I am not going to go outside of who I am to make someone else comfortable when it's going to compromise the character and the person that I am. And I think that's what has happened, whether it's Will or Jada. We're not here to say it's just in a relationship.
But they have children.
But just to piggyback on what you're saying there, Val, we started off right here together. Stay with the show, baby.
Okay.
Stay with the show. We started off right here. We were both headed in the same direction. Now, all of a sudden, something happened with you that you said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to continue in the direction in which we're going. But I decide I want to continue in that direction. Where do you find the balance, or how can you find a balance in that type of, like I was saying, you've been together, you started off back in 1952, whatever it was, and now it's 2000 something. You've been in this relationship, y'all been doing it one way, but now one has evolved versus the second one.
Yeah. Can I speak to that? Because
I see the doctor is on that.
Because I experienced that. And, when I got married, I was intending to marry for the rest of my life, for better, for worse. That was this was for life. That was the contract. When we reached a place after many, many years where it was just not congruent together. And I knew that there was a set of people, my children, that were watching this, toxicity of this environment. And I knew that we were not, I did everything that I could for the relationship, going even against myself in some places to try to bring us back to where we should be as an example for kids. And it just wasn't happening. At some point, I had to stand up for that and say, this is not going to occur anymore. I'm not going to stand up for this because my children need to see something better. And I made destroy you or even me or them in the path.
But I'm
of
unwilling.
changing it. But I am unwilling to compromise to what you are doing. So we did. We destroyed.
And so this like a compromise that take place after the kids are grown.
Well,
No, when you make that decision.
I left because I could no longer be in that sphere. I could no longer compromise myself. I could no longer compromise what I thought was right for the kids, just to be a unit together. He was not doing correctly, and I mean, and I know I had a place in that too, a role in that too. It's fine, but at some point I had to walk the walk and stand up for what was right for both of us, the kids or whatnot. And, sometimes they say people stay, like Jada and Will may be staying for the kids or whatnot. Sometimes you need to leave
For the kids.
Yeah.
Because the example that you're showing them, you're
It's
actually
not
hurting
right.
them.
What they are doing is
versus
not right.
helping them.
Right. It's not right for their children.
I know. She over here.
And I
ready to
agree
go.
with you 100%. I grew up in a very toxic environment where my father was very abusive to my mother, and so that was, as a young kid, it was better
Right.
for my dad to be gone than to remain in the household to continue for me to see that all the time.
So if Will feels like he's not in a good situation, he needs to be strong enough to pull himself
But
out
I think
of
the
that.
problem is when you get to that certain level, and I think with people in Hollywood and people that arrive to so much money, they want to stay up there on that
Talking
high.
about the
Of course
brand.
they
You're
do.
talking about the
No,
brand.
I'm not even
Yeah.
talking about the
fame,
brand. It's almost like
it's a high.
drug. It's a high. They want to stay up on that
You're right.
high, and they continue to compromise themselves because they don't want to come down.
Right.
And I think when it comes to a lot of the Hollywood people out there with money, not even Hollywood.
They exchange more than anybody. I
No,
know.
no, what she's saying is right. No, it is.
A lot of times with people with money, my professional career is dealing with doctors, just professionals. And so what I see a lot of times is people that have money, they love that status.
Listen, this is what you're saying is so true. Because when we were at the height, now this was the height of my career. Even though I was 300 pounds. But at the height of the career, I was on TV, I was on radio. We were millionaires. We were at we were the top med spa in San Antonio. All of these things are going, and I wanted to stay there. I did not want that to be destroyed. But at some point, I said, I
can't keep
do
living
this.
like
I
this.
can't. So I went by walking out. The whole thing fell.
But
No,
then
to stay there.
Let me ask you a question though on that topic. Were you the one that elevated the relationship to this status, or were y'all equally going to this?
no,
place?
she was.
Without the physician, I was the physician, I was the breadwinner, I was on top, I was the face and everything.
Right.
He was a very great. I can't take away from him. He was a great support to me and elevated me to that spot. But once we got, we did that together. But there was a point
So
where
it was more him
diverted.
holding on to you versus you holding on to him? Or?
I was holding on, trying to keep us all together and an image and keep us elevated like that, because I knew if I walked, the whole thing would cave. We would lose money, we'd lose fame, we'd lose everything, and we did. But at some point, it was like
You gained your peace.
I did. And I could not do that I couldn't let my children keep watching that. And so I think that's where they are now, is admitting to it and letting it all come out. And they're going to get some great relief from this. In order, just let it fall, because guess what? It comes
You're
back.
gonna come
you
back.
can gain it back even better.
It's such some positiveness come
Absolutely.
when you come from behind the rocks.
Right.
When
Right.
when things come to light, and you know, I don't have to hide this anymore. I don't have to carry this
Absolutely.
load
Like a
anymore.
weight
Absolutely.
And so now I feel lighter.
It goes
It's
back
free.
to
Yes.
it goes
You become
back to what I was saying earlier about losing that weight. You look up at yourself at one moment, you're like, dang, what happened to me?
Right. How did I get here?
How did I get here? You got here because you were doing everything for everybody else.
Right.
And so the weight is a physical thing, but really it's deeper than the physical thing.
Very much
And so you get to a place in your life, I'm not carrying it for everybody else.
Right. Right.
That person in that mirror is who I am. But I need you to come on. 'Cause she was getting ready to say something. She been ready.
And let me ask and give a disclaimer. I've never been married before. Okay. And so I'm only learning about marriage and, studying the biblical way that God intended marriage. And so I look at marriage as a spiritual thing, and of course, if it's a thing that's ordained by God, because that's the only thing he really ordained, if I'm not mistaken,
There you go.
was the marriage, not family or friends, anything like that.
None of that.
So that's like the main thing that the devil attacks. And so, of course, marriage isn't perfect, and the devil is going to come in any way that he can. He's going to dress it up, make it look good, and he's going to seep in there, whatever door you open. So in marriage, at what point do we say, you know what, God, I made this commitment and I made this covenant, because that's a strong thing too. This covenant before
with
you,
him.
with you, my spouse, who I feel that you sent to me, and myself. So it's all three of us. So when do I pull on him to say, God, I can't change this man because he's drifting away. He's gone away from what we initially, what we initially talked about, what we initially agreed upon in front of you. So when do I call him into it and say, God, I need you to fix this because I can't change him, but I know that you can. So
I don't know if I agree with the changing, I guess. Like I said, I've been married almost 25 years. Changing is never something I've tried to do to my husband.
Well, no, because we can't.
So, like...
You do to some degree, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You influence.
Some kind.
Balance.
And then, everybody grows and evolves. Like, especially if you got married super young, as a person, just even if whether you're married or not, you're not the same person you were when you were 12.
Absolutely.
Or like 20. So like you grow and you evolve your personality and the things that you need or don't need in life. But I would say that most people are who they are at their core pretty early in life. Yeah. So if there's things that are deal breakers that are deal breakers and you think, well, I could change them or I could maybe modify that, don't do it.
Right.
Because honestly, it's
deep
very
right
hard.
there.
Right, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, when we're talking about Will and Jada, as far as like somebody drifted and said, well, let's do an open marriage or something like to that extent, not really changing the character of who the person is, because we know that from in the beginning of dating them. Like, we know the things that, I can't deal with that. We know what they're going to be and who they are. But when it comes to them compromising the things that y'all initially agreed upon and compromising the things, like compromising themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I know who you presented to me from the day one.
Exactly.
And I know as my husband, you're told this is not the man I married.
So you're so right, because
And for me, I don't and I love your perspective, but I think a lot of times what we like to say, because it sounds good, I don't want to change them. But really, it's not about them, it's about us. And have I compromised me along the way to make myself fit in the world of someone else? And so, babe, I got you. I promise you, I got Abigail and I got Anna, because they are jumping over here. They want some. But I want to ask her, and this is something I want us to think about, because I think a lot of times what we end up doing, because we want to either we want to hold on to what we have, look good on an image, or we're just trying to just be here. Because we don't want to rock the boat. We end up compromising.
Want to maintain.
Well, we want to compromise who we are. But really who we are is the person I was at 17 was really not the person I am at 40, but the core of who I was who I was created to be. But what has changed who I was created to be is life situations that I've endured. And people that have come into my life that God never intended to come into my life.
Things change.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that being
circumstances change.
They really
well, it wasn't really the circumstances. It's things that I allowed into my space. So I'm not here to say whether Jada allowed something into their space or Will allowed. But the things that they allowed into their space changed the direction in which was initially intended for them.
Their relationship.
But the core of who they are, you can get back to.
You can.
You can.
It does happen.
It does happen.
It does happen, and I
That's
say that all
good,
the
babe.
time, because I always say married him for a reason. Things went well for a while. Things began to change. I did, he did. I feel mostly he did. And then after the crash and the fall of everything, because we had to, fix something. Something had to be fixed, and leaving sometimes is the only way to fix it. But in the end, too, as we became adults finally, I put on my big girl panties, he put on his big, shorts, and we came back to ourselves.
Yeah, and that
then we were
doesn't
able
necessarily
to
mean that
coexist.
you have
see that's a problem that
coexist.
society have.
Yes.
People don't know how to coexist. People
Right.
don't know how to
Right.
accept
Right.
separation.
Right.
And you have people getting violent. They
Right.
they get all kind of craziness going
Right.
on in their heads
Right.
when somebody start talking about I'm leaving you.
I mean, it's sad.
all
You're
that
hurt. Your anger
resentment and all that
was hurt.
starts
Yeah.
taking place.
Yeah.
So-
Really
Yes,
understood
absolutely.
that.
Right.
But we came back around now. We
Yeah.
have children to raise. We've
Right.
got an
And
example to set.
that is-
We came back
yes.
around.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry.
So thank y'all for tuning in to part 1 of Tasteful Toxic on relationships. And be sure to tune in next week for part 2. It's going to be great. See you then.